Sanhedrin Daf Mem Vav Amud Aleph, 6 lines down. Today's daf is sponsored by Anonymous in Zechut of Bnei Israel. Ha'ish Tolin, a man is hung. Mishnah says that a man is hung facing people, woman is hung facing the gallows. Chachamim say that she's not hung at all. Ma'atim Ran Hakam, woman is not hung according to Chachamim. Amar Krab Pasuk says V'talita Oto, you shall hang him. Oto v'ota, not her. Rabbi Eliezer says Oto v'loksudo. When it says him, it means him without clothes. Rabbanan, what do they say? In Achanam, it's true. And Amar Krab Pasuk also says. Ish v'lo isha. We see again that the man is included, woman excluded. Okay, so what does Rabbi Eliezer do with that word man? The word man excludes a ben tzoreh morer who's a minor. One second, Matan ben tzoreh morer is called the Rabbi Eliezer. According to Rabbi Eliezer, holds that the ben tzoreh is also hung. So how does that explain the pasuk now? The Gemara says, "Ela ma'ar Rabbi Nachman bar Yitzchak." Both ben tzoreh, he includes it. The Gemara says, "My time, the makra v'yechiva ish v'lo ben." All right, so how do you explain it? If it says man, it excludes the boy. So how? Het, the pasuk says sin. Misha al het o neherag. It's someone, a person who's executed for his sin. Yatsa ben tzoreh morer al shum sofo neherag. That excludes the ben tzoreh morer who's executed because of what he might become. And therefore, both these exclusions come after each other. And whenever you have double exclusion, when you have double exclusion, it includes it. Therefore, Ben Surah Muller is included in hanging after execution. We said that Rav Shimon hug 80 women. The only times you can't execute is referring to two different executions. But if it can be the same execution, you do execute the same day, but it can. Right, so we mentioned the 80 women were an exception, but in general, you can't. One second, but Shimon Shidduch all killed in the same way, and you still said you can't. So it must be different else. It's only talking about a case where the guy is type one execution for two different avirot. Like, for example, what? Two different avirot. It's one case, one execution, one avira, then you can. Even with multiple people. The Gemara says, you can't judge two on the same day. Even if it's a male and female adulterer, you can't judge them the same day, even though seemingly the same capital case. The Gemara says, not so simple. His case, you can't judge them if they're adult and adulterers, is if it's from like Kohen's daughter and a man with her. So usually an adulterer will get Henek. However, a Bat Kohen gets Sereva because it's more Hamur that she's a Bat Kohen. And therefore, the adulterer male will get Henek, but the woman would get Sereva, so therefore it's two mitot. Or to my case with the Kohen's daughter and the Zumamin. The Zumamin witnesses, if they get Zumam, they don't get Sereva, they only get Henek. That's why it's my case, same Avira, but different punishments. Okay. Tanabet says, but Eliezer ben Yaakov Omer, Shamati, I heard, Shebetin Makin Bonshin Pshalom Torah, that Betin can either whip or punish capitally with even that's not necessarily not what they're supposed to receive. How? They're not going against the Torah per se by doing this. Rather, they're trying to build a fence and safeguard the Torah. How? During the Greeks, when the people were lax in their mitzvot, the person was riding his horse on Shabbat, which is only Drabanan Ve'aviu, but they stoned him. That wasn't supposed to be punishment, but because of the times that they needed to show a force, that's why they had to do it. It's like the rabbi in class. So the student decides to act up and he needs to make a korban. Good luck. Shuv Ma'aseh, another story. It was a guy who had a relation with his wife in the public under a tree. They gave him malkut. It wasn't necessary. It wasn't the appropriate punishment. People who were at the time very inappropriate, and therefore they had to make a point that it's not tzniut to do this. Nowadays, what will they do? I have no idea. New Mishnah. How do you hang someone? According to the first opinion, you stick a pole into the ground. Then you put a pole perpendicularly from the top, protruding from the top. The guy takes the body, ties his hands together, and hangs him from the top beam. The says, no, a stick is leaned against the wall or a tree, and then you hang it like a piece of meat, like the butchers do. Right away, you untie him. immediately. And if he's left under the gallows overnight, the mitzvah avirat doraita lo ta'aseh. Shneimar pasuk lo talin nivlato ala'et. You should not leave his body overnight. Ki kavor tivareni. You should shortly bury him. Ki kililat elokim talui. Because a hanging person is a curse on Hashem. Why is he being hung? Because he blessed Hashem. So yeah, he cursed Hashem. The Gemara uses the euphemism, called it blessed, even though it says he cursed. So meaning what? The people are going to see him there. Say, oh, that's the guy that cursed Hashem. It's an insult to Hashem. When a person suffers, what is Hashem saying? Hashem is as if he's saying, my head's hurting, my arm's hurting. Yani, he feels the pain. If Hashem feels the pain of the dead, the dying of Rishaim, those will die. Not only that, anybody who leaves a dead body overnight for no reason gets lotase avira. However, he left the corpse overnight unburied for the corpse's honor. For example, to bring a coffin or shrouds. In order there's no avira because it was for that person's honor. You don't bury the person who's executed by din. You don't bury him in his family graveyard. They would have two cemeteries set aside for betin's use. One betin was used, one cemetery was used for those who got headache and hanek. One betin used for sekila and serefa. He was buried in the appropriate place. Once his body rotted, decomposed, you gather the bones, and you bury them you rebury them in his family's burial plots. The relatives of the person who was convicted comes over to the judges and witnesses and asks, how you doing? How's everything? That's their way of showing the witnesses and the judges that they have nothing against them. We understand you did what you're supposed to do. There's no mourning for them. But they can grieve privately because grieving is in your heart. Okay, the pasuk only mentions you shall hang him after your sin. Maybe you might think that you may be able to hang him and then stone him. Like the Goyim do. Like the pasuk says, you shall kill him first and then hang him. They do that. You wait till right before sunset. After you make the verdict, kill him. You hang him. One person ties him to the gallows and then one person unties him right away. You do a quick Mikayim mitzvah of hanging him, then we take him down. Tamaran, 8. The pasuk says you shall use a post. Shemayani ben Talosh ben Chabar. It's like any type of post, whether it's attached or detached. And when the Mark Kikavor, the fact that he's burying Misha in that sounds like only thing that's missing, only burial. Right, to teach you that the post has to be buried too. It says in that for something that's still attached to the ground, you can't use. But no. It says that this excludes a post that has to be pulled from the ground, meaning it has to be sunk into the ground, and therefore excludes a post that has to be pulled up and buried. So a post that's stuck into the ground is not good enough. How come they don't like that? If it has to be just pulled from the ground, it's not considered significant, and that's okay. Therefore, you could put it stuck in the ground. We said that Hashem is it's a curse. It's inappropriate for a person to be hung. People are going to realize that he cursed Hashem. Now, Tanya, I'm going to be a different explanation. Mashal, a different. He'll give a mashal. The mother of was compared to Lishayachim twin Berachat. There was twin brothers living in the same city. Achab min Melech, one was a king. One person became a robber. The king issued execution on his brother, and they hung him. Whenever they saw the robber hanging from the gallows, they said, They said, oh, the king got hung. Therefore, the king ordered that the body be taken down because it was inappropriate. So we are created in the image of God. It's inappropriate if the body is hung. It's embarrassing for Hashem. Kaviyachol. Mir says that the word kilat, he said in the Mishnah, shows Hashem's upset over the death. My mashma, this Kimandamar kalet. It's like a person who says, "Oh, I'm not heavy. I feel heavy. I'm not light. I feel heavy." The pasuk should have said, "My head is heavy. My arm is too heavy. Why backward? My head's not light." Seemingly, yes, it's a person saying, "Oh yeah, the world's so light for me." It's a person. It's a euphemism or sarcasm, where a person is saying something the opposite. Oh, it's so light. It's heavy. The word kill teaches you that the person is chayab mitah because he cursed. The Gemara says, why it should have said mikal? My killat what mean killat must be both to teach you that Hashem is upset over the death of this person. Maybe the entire pasuk is teaching you this that Hashem is upset, but not necessarily that he has to be hung. It should have one lamed. My killat, why two lameds? Shamina karti for my teaching jibat. Only did not say this. Maybe that a person who's not who person leaves over his relative overnight without burial is a avira. So when the key cover to the can and the million mitosh avira doesn't have to receive from here. They have to is so right. You can have a different separation or high. How we know from the Torah that you're supposed to bury someone? You shall surely bury them. Mikan like from the Torah that we see from here that you're supposed to bury. Amar le Shibur Makal Mahma. King Shapur was a Persian king who knew a lot of halacha. He asked Rav Hama, how do you know that you're supposed to bury someone from the Torah? He didn't answer. Amar Rav Achabar Yaakov. He didn't like that Rav Hama was silent. The world has been given over to the hands of fools. That he should have answered him from this pasuk that you shall bury. Delivered le adron. No, who says they said the reason why he didn't mention it is because maybe that pasuk just means you're supposed to have a coffin, not necessarily you're supposed to put him in the ground. Tamar says, "Take you shall bury him." King Shapur wouldn't have accepted that. He wouldn't say, "Oh, because the pasuk says it twice." And we learn if the Torah says it twice, it teaches you something, double lashon. But King Shapur wouldn't have accepted that. The name made the ikpur to the king. Maybe we should bring a proof that maybe we see from tzaddikim, our avot, for example, were buried. Minhag ba'alam, the custom, but not chiyuv. Midak v'garash v'lochel Moshe, but Hashem buried Moshe. We see from there. It says l'ishti minhaga. Maybe Hashem did not change the minhag, and therefore we see. Now it's not a proof that there's a chiyuv to bury someone. Tashma bring proof is fidulo kol Yisrael kavruoto. Everybody of the Bnei Israel will eulogize and bury him. This is talking about regarding a prophecy about someone's son. So we see he's supposed to bury it. Gemara says the lynch minhag be that not a proof that he's supposed to bury. Maybe it just means that you bury him because it's part of the minhag. Lo yisadu lo yikvrin the minhag pnei adam yehu. When it's talking about the story of the city of Anasot, it says that they shall not be eulogized or buried. So we see from here that if you're not buried, it's a curse. The Gemara says the lishtana minhag. It's not a curse necessarily. The curse is they changed the minhag, but we still no proof that you're supposed to bury. You might know the question, so is burial, is it because we don't want to avoid a disgrace to the family and to the body? Or is it provides kapara? Why provide kapara? The Ran says that it's a kapara for a person to be buried because maybe when a person's life is above ground, he makes himself as if he's above all. Therefore, when a person's buried, he's even under the dirt and the bugs. It's like it's a show that he lost everything. Okay. The man after me, what's the difference if it's kapara or disgrace? If a person says that he doesn't want to be buried after he dies, if it's a disgrace, then they don't have to listen to him. You can't disgrace your family. If he says I don't want kapara, then there's a problem. No? So what's the halacha? Bringing proof from tzaddikim. Wow. If it's because of kapara, why would avot need to be buried? Gemara says yes. In tiktiv, even tzaddikim needed to be buried. Tashma, pasuk says regarding Aviyah, like I mentioned earlier, he'll have to be buried, and they eulogize him. We see over here that they want to be buried. Sorry, only he was buried, not the rest of the family. So how come Hashem did not allow the rest of the family to be buried, even though they're evil? Let him get kapara. The Gemara says, "Hi tzaddik who have the kapara." Yes, tzaddikim can get kapara by being buried. But these people who are evil should not get kapara. Tashma bring proof. Right, so we're just knocking off the proofs either way. So regarding the people of Anasot, we said that they should not be buried. We see from here that it's for kapara. It can't be for kapara because otherwise, why is that a bad thing? Why should they have kapara? Why would they deny that they needed the kapara? The Gemara says the lot had kapara. Hashem maybe did not want them to have kapara because they were evil. Eulogies, is that meant for the honor of the living, of the relatives of the person passed away, or is it meant for the honor of the person who passed away himself? You know what's the difference? If a person says he doesn't want to be buried, he doesn't want to have eulogies when he's buried. Do you listen to him or not? Or La Fuki Riyashin. So we force the orphans or the heirs to pay for eulogizer. If they don't want to pay for him, if it's for them, they can forego it. If it's for the dead body, they should pay for it. Tashma doesn't proof. Abraham came to eulogize Sarah and cry over her death. If you want to say eulogies for the living, why would so Abraham would not bury her because he wants to honor? Where it says, Abraham. Yes, maybe because Sarah herself may have wanted Abraham to receive honor through her, and therefore no proof. Tashma brings proof. It says, regarding the son of Aviyah, sorry, regarding Aviyah, the son of Yehoram, it said that Bnei Yisrael will eulogize him and bury him. But if everybody else is evil around them, why would he want to give honor to them? Gemara says, it's true. Other people will get honor, but if the honor is coming through the tzaddik, that's a kavod for the tzaddik as well. So they will not be eulogized, not be buried. So we see if it's meant for the living, who cares? The Gemara says, "Lo nihan tzadikim mikam yeshia." We don't want people tzadikim to get honor through the praise of the wicked. Tashma. Beshalom tamud bin srafot avotechem lachem rishon mehilu fenecha ken yezefulach ve'ho yadon nizkilach. Yirmiyahu tzidkiyahu. You'll die in peace like your fathers and the kings before you, and they'll bury you and they'll call you master when they eulogize you. If eulogies for the honor of the living, what does he care what they say about him? So why? Maybe he's trying to tell him the Jewish people will receive honor through you to eulogize you, just like they received honor to eulogize your fathers, the previous kings. Tashma bringing proof. A person who is looking bad in his own eyes and he's repulsive. What does that mean? It's Hiskiyahu took the bones of his father Ahaz, who's Rasha, and he dragged it through the streets on ropes, and he dragged it through the streets to give his father kapara. If these type of things are meant for the living, my tama, why would Hiskiyahu seemingly do it to himself? The Gemara says, he did it just to maybe get kapara for his father. Gemara says, so his father kapara, he should seemingly not care about the honor of Bnei Israel to see this happen. The Gemara says, yes, maybe Bnei Israel, it was worth Bnei Israel to see this just so that they would want kapara for Hiskiyahu's father. Amen.